Hi everyone, thanks so much for watching. In today's video, I am going to do a tag that was created by Linda at Glitter Fallout here on YouTube. So I was getting ready this morning, and like I always do, I was scrolling through my YouTube feed looking for a video to watch. And truthfully, anytime Linda posts a video, I watch it. You guys know I'm a huge fan of hers. I feel like I talk about her in every video. I promise it's not a stalkerish obsession. I just really enjoy her. I enjoy her content, and I enjoy her kittens. So I watch all the videos that she does. But this morning when I was getting ready, I saw that she had posted a makeup first tag. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to answer the questions that she has put out for other people to answer on their channels. And I loved her answers. You guys know, I love her. And I loved the questions and I loved the answers, and I thought, let's do that together today. So I'm just gonna get right into it. The first question on here was, what first made you interested in makeup? And you know what? Probably like for a lot of us, it was my mom. I remember, so my mom always went out with makeup on. Like probably nowadays, how old's my mom? My mom is, if I'm gonna be 48, so she's 68. Probably now she goes out a little bit more without makeup, but when I was growing up, she always was all put together when she went out. Hair done, makeup done, nicely dressed always. And actually, my grandma is the same, right? My grandma always has her hair done. She's in her 90s now, but I remember her getting her hair done when I was younger. Like once a week she'd go and they'd put the rollers in. So I had lots of women in my life that were an inspiration very early on, but probably the biggest inspiration to me was my mom. I remember watching my mom put her makeup on, and she never did anything fancy. It was foundation, blush, and mascara. Probably is all she put on. But I remember looking at her makeup. I remember being very interested in her makeup very early on. And so yeah, my first inspiration for makeup for sure was my mom. Now the next question is, what was the first makeup you ever remember applying? I remember this very clearly. I was in grade 7, I was 11 years old, and I had lots of girlfriends that had worn makeup for years, but my mom had said I was not allowed to wear makeup. And so I don't remember where I got the makeup from. I'm sure it was a girlfriend, but I remember very clearly putting on eyeshadow. I'm sure it looked terrible, but I felt very beautiful. And my girlfriend must have brought it to school, and I put it on at school, and I assume my plan was to go home after school and wash it off. But what actually happened, and it was purple. I do remember it was purple, like just a thick band of purple shadow. And I remember, I think we were leaving at lunchtime, or maybe I was leaving after school to go home. I lived just across the street from the school. Anyways, I was leaving the school, and as I opened up the big double doors to go out the front of the school, here was my mom walking in. I think she was there for something with my brother. I don't know why she was there, but I do remember it was the first time I ever, oh, bless you. I do remember it was the first time I ever put makeup on, and I was not supposed to have makeup on, and I opened those double doors, and my mom took one look at me and just stopped in her tracks and just stared at me for a minute and then carried on her way. And I thought, oh boy, we're probably grounded when she gets home. So I don't remember if I was grounded or not. I probably was, but that was the first time I ever put makeup on, and I remember it very clearly. Okay, question number 3. Who was your first makeup YouTuber you remember watching? And it was Tati. I remember very clearly, I don't even know how many years ago it was. So I got into makeup very late in life. I know I've talked about this many times, but I had my boys when I was very young, early 20s. And so although I love makeup and I did wear makeup every day, it would have been like my mom, right? I put on probably some kind of foundation very lightly. I put on maybe some blush and some mascara, and probably for the first 20 years of my adult life, that's about all I wore. Honestly, like I had just a handful of makeup products. When I would run out of whatever those products were, I would go purchase them. I didn't have backups. I didn't have a makeup collection, nothing like that. And I don't remember exactly when I first started watching Tati, but I do remember she was one of the first beauty YouTubers that I was exposed to. And I remember just falling in love with her. I binge watched her. I watched all her videos. I think back then she posted every day. Like, it seems to me she put out a video every day. Was it 7 a week? I don't even remember. I think it was. Does anybody remember that? Like, she always had new videos up. She did a lot of drugstore stuff. She did a lot of new, like higher end stuff as well. But she did do a lot of drugstore stuff and how to buy makeup. Like, what did she call that series she did? Where she would go like with coupons in the drugstore and get makeup very, very affordably. So I remember watching Tati, and you know, I mean, she's so beautiful, right? And I just loved watching her put makeup on. But truthfully, I probably watched every video she ever did. I was sad when all that stuff went down with her and she was off YouTube there for a year. I missed her. You know, I quite like her content, and regardless of all that other stuff, all the other drama with her, you know, she just will always have a special place in my heart because she was one of the first beauty YouTubers I ever watched, and I really enjoy her. And so yeah, she was the first one I watched, and I've kind of loved her ever since, right? Who was your first true makeup muse is number 4, and who are your current makeup muses? So again, probably, you know, my mom and Tati were the first women that I kind of emulated. But there were lots of YouTubers that I watched early on and would try to recreate what they had done. I have loved Kathleen Lights for a long time. Yeah, there's a ton of them. I've watched Jessica Braun since early on in her channel. And I've loved her, and I still watch every video she puts out. And I feel like her and I have very similar makeup tastes. You know, she does pretty simple makeup, very similar makeup to what I do. Like a one shadow look is typically what she does, whereas people like Tati, you know, Tati will put on a lot of makeup, right? She'll do way more than I would ever do. But you know, it's funny, I watch a lot of people on YouTube and other places who do makeup looks that, like, I'm never gonna wear it, right? I mean, Linda from Glitter Fallout, she loves a bold, bright eyeshadow look. I watch all of her videos. I watch even when she does those, knowing that I'm never gonna do them, but I just love to watch, right? I'm inspired by it, even though I'm not going to recreate it. I also love Manny MUA. I love Laura Lee. I love to watch a lot of those original OG beauty YouTubers. You know, I watched a lot of Candy Johnson for a lot of years. I don't think she's on here much anymore, but yeah, they're all very inspiring to me. Now what I get inspired by is more probably stuff on Instagram, and I really love Charlotte Tilbury and Natasha Denona, though they do lots of makeup looks on Instagram that really inspire me. On TikTok, like all of us, I love Michaela. Again, I'm not gonna do my makeup probably like any of them because I do pretty simple everyday makeup looks. But I love to watch elaborate makeup looks, right? And you know, even if I'm not gonna recreate it, maybe I grab a small little tidbit from those creators, you know, that I can then apply to myself. So yeah, I love to watch all sorts of creators on here, but those are some of the ones that I'm really inspired by. Number 5, what was the first higher end makeup product you bought? Again, a very clear memory for me. So I grew up in a really small town, and so we had like a Kmart. I think we had a Shoppers Drug Mart growing up, but those were kind of your options, right? There was some drugstore makeup, and that was kind of it. And this was back before there was the internet, so you couldn't order online. I don't know how people got their higher end makeup, I guess going to the city. And so anyways, in my very early 20s, I want to say I was probably 23 years old, so we're talking 25 years ago. My mom took me into the city, which was about 4 hours from where we were, to buy a wedding dress for my first marriage. So we came into the city and we bought a wedding dress for me. And during that trip, we went to the mall. Now, I don't know how I had money, but I must have had a little bit of money to spend. Again, I don't know how I had this money. Probably somebody gifted me some money to do something special for myself because, you know, I was just had just had Tyler, my oldest son, and I actually probably was pregnant with Jacob but didn't know it. We came to the city and we went to the mall. It was the, I remember the mall. I remember going there. I remember the whole thing. There was a mat counter in the bay. And I went to the mat counter and there was this young guy. He was probably my age, early 20s. And he asked if I would like him to do my makeup. And I said, sure, I'm getting married. Can you do a little makeup look that maybe I could copy? And he did this crazy makeup look. I don't remember all the colors, but I want to say there was a yellow, which no, I was just using mascara at the time. He did, I remember he did 3 shadows and he did sort of like a blended, I think there was a green, like a yellow, green and gold, maybe, I don't know. But he did this makeup look for me. And so we left the counter and we kind of walked around the mall a little bit. And then I went back and I bought those 3 shadows. I don't think I bought any base products, but I did buy those 3 shadows. And I bought these 2 brushes to do that makeup with because I didn't own any eyeshadow brushes. I think that whole thing cost me like $100, which back 25 years ago was an absolute fortune for me. But I remember being so excited. That was, I mean, MAC products still look the same as they did, but they were 3 little single shadows in their little black pots with the clear lid on top, and it said MAC across it, right? These brushes, so this is a MAC 32 brush. Now, I don't use this one very often. You can see it's in pretty good shape. It's just like a fluffy brush, but it's just the shape of it for whatever reason. I don't use this brush a ton. This brush, however, 25 years old. This brush, I bought with that brush. I don't know what it says because it's hard to read. It might say 137. It's this flat brush. I use this brush almost every day. I used it today. I use it all the time. I wash it once a week because I wash all my brushes once a week. Look at the quality of this thing. The whole thing is fine. Like the writing has worn off, but look at those bristles. There's none that are off in strange directions or anything. You guys, like what kind of crazy quality is that? 25 years. I've had these brushes, and again, this one I use it daily. I wash it weekly. Such good quality. So these are the oldest products in my makeup collection. I don't have anything makeup wise that's this old, but I do still have these brushes from that trip, and I think that really says something to MAC's quality. Like, that's crazy to me. So yeah, I very clearly remember those products. At some point I got rid of the eyeshadows. I didn't wear them my wedding day, and I don't think I actually ever wore them. I think what it was that I was feeling like I should get something. I knew nothing about makeup, and so yeah, so I grabbed 3 shadows. I do remember that, and these 2 brushes, and it's a very distinct makeup memory for me. What was the first makeup purchase you waited for and bought the second it was released? It's actually pretty new. I bought these the day they were released. Now, I don't know if there was products before this I did this with, and I don't think there's been products since, but when Huda released this Glow Wish powder, I was so excited. I follow her on Instagram. First of all, I love Huda. I love, I watched her back YouTube days, loved her then, love her now, follow her on Instagram, and she went on and on about this powder on Instagram. I think that because it was a luminous pressed powder, she really touted it as being just this great product for people with dry skin. And so I bought it. This is actually my second one. The first one I returned. This is in 01 Fair, and I think the first one I got was like in 02 or 03 or something. So I exchanged it because it was too deep. I did a whole video review on this. I actually think on that video, Huda actually left me a comment. I don't know if it's her or her PR, her PR team or whatever, but somebody from Huda left a comment on that video, and I was just so excited for it. And you know what? It's not for me. I don't think it's a bad product, but it does just not look great on my skin. That's it there. It is very luminous. I should truthfully give it another try because I have friends who love this and I just don't. I mean, you can clearly see Like that's a full compact. I should use it just as a, just as a pressed powder and not as a powder foundation, but I bought it as a powder foundation. So I bought this the day it launched, and I think I bought this one at the same time. I'm pretty sure. I love this blush. This is the full size though, I think. I don't think this is a mini, but I do love this blush and I'm happy to have it. And I also have the bronzer, and I love the bronzer. So yeah, I bought these the day they launched, and it turned out not to be what my expectations of it were. However, I'm happy I have it, right? Like, I don't use it really, but I was excited. So I ran online and bought it the minute it dropped. What was the first time you had your makeup done by somebody else? So the first time anyone did my makeup, that was at that MAC counter. And that was also the last time anyone has done my makeup. I've never had my makeup done by anyone. That's true. I just am trying to think, but yep, that's the one and only time anyone's ever done my makeup. And no, I didn't like it. I didn't think it looked great. And I thought it was too much. It was too much for me. However, again, 25 years ago. What's the makeup product you own that should be the first one thrown out in a declutter? So the oldest makeup product in my collection is this cream blush from Smashbox. It's the LA Lights. This for a lot of years. So Smashbox is one of the first high-end brands. Other than those MAC products that I picked up 25 years ago, I used drugstore makeup probably until about 10 years ago. And then I, just as I had a little bit more disposable income, the first time I bought higher end makeup was not from Sephora. Actually, I'm just pretty recently new to Sephora, but at Shoppers here in Canada, you can buy some higher end brands. And Smashbox was one of the first brands that I bought that was not at a drugstore price point. And I had used their primer, which I think, probably lots of us did for a lot of years. And their foundation was a foundation I wore for a lot of years. And then their cream blush. And I loved this cream blush, but this is so old. So that's what it looks like there. It smells fine. It smells fine. It's still nice and creamy. Look at this shade. This was the blush I wore for years and years and years. And it's still really pretty, and I still really like it. I don't reach for it, probably because of the age of it, but I think it would probably be fine. This is definitely the oldest makeup product in my collection, and I should declutter it, but I don't. I don't. It's a cream product. I don't even want to guess how many years old it is, you guys. Like, old. Over 5 years. Like, I had that before I was on YouTube. I've been on here 2 years. I easily had it 3 years before that. Yeah, it's old. It's old, you guys. Okay, and then question number 9, which is the last question that she did. It is, what is the first thing someone should know about makeup? I think lots of people say it, that it's just makeup. At the end of the day, you can just wash it off. So have fun. But I would add to that, because I got into makeup when I was older, into my 40s for sure, you're just never too old. I think we get stuck in that, I'm too old for this, I'm too old for that. But as somebody who has a 90-some-year-old grandma who still has that spirit where she gets out every day, she wants to be social. She wants to do things. She doesn't want to just sit in her house. She wants to get out. She wants to have new experiences. She wants to, try new things. That's very inspiring to me every single day, right? When I think about, I'm kind of tired today. Well, I'm in my late 40s. It's like, oh my goodness. Hopefully I have another 40 years like my grandma, right? Hopefully I'm at that age. 40 years is an enormous amount of time to try new things. I don't ever want to be stuck in, I'm too old. I'm too old to try this new makeup thing. I'm too old to try this new technique. I'm too old to wear that much glitter. I'm too old to put a purple shadow on. You know what I mean? I don't ever want to feel that way. I want to try new things all the time. I love makeup. I love that I got into makeup at a more mature age. I love that I'm on YouTube putting makeup on my mature skin, and hopefully that's inspiring to somebody who's, my age or older who wants to try new things. We are never too old to do these things. So that's what I would say. If you have never worn makeup in your life and you're, my age or older, or even younger, do it. Makeup has no age limit on it. If you are 85 and you want to rock a purple shadow, my goodness, please do that. Do that. Why not? Right? At the end of the day, we just wash it off. Every day we get to start new with our makeup. So I love makeup. I love how it makes me feel. I love the process of putting it on. I love exploring new products. I love exploring new techniques. I love all of that. So yeah, that's what I would say. You're just never too old for anything, but especially to put some makeup on. So there you go, you guys. There's my take on Linda's video tag. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, I'll link her channel and the other channels that I mentioned down below in case you're not familiar with any of those people. You can go check them out as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope it was entertaining. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, if you would subscribe, that would be amazing. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, everyone.